Hey, good morning, everyone. Just want to confirm that we are live. Just want to confirm, are you guys able to see Tammy and I? And do you hear sound? Just want to confirm. Maybe give me a thumbs up, making sure that all the sound is good. And just confirming. Beautiful. Hey, okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. Okay, so Tammy and I are really excited to share with you this segment of the training. And the reason why, when Tammy and I put a training together, we sit back and we think of all the moments in our lives that we recognize has contributed to our success. And Tammy and I have always freely trained people from, in fact, so many different network marketing companies, to kind of be aware of some of those principles that we want to talk to you about that actually have served us very well. We even wrote a book on it. And again, it's not where I'm not trying to promote our book. My point is that we have a track record of what it is we have done. And because of this, we've been able to build an organization that spans well over 350,000 people around the globe. And this is not a joke. And keep in mind that we've been full time in network marketing for at least 28 years. I'm being modest. I know it's more than that, but at least 28 years. And over these 28 years, obviously, you can't avoid by learning from your failures. I always say, failure is a step closer to success unless you stop trying. And my point in saying all of this is when we sit back and we think about, okay, what do we want to talk about? We think about all our successes and failures, and this is what we have here. And we're going to start with two slides. The first slide is a little video, and I'm going to give Tammy to share in a few seconds here. The first slide is a video that will actually identify some characters that you will come across as you build your business. And as a leader, it's very important you recognize the differences that these characters can actually impact your business. So we'll start with that, and then we'll follow up with another segment of the four different stages of network marketing. Tell me, what are your thoughts before we begin?
No, you guys are going to actually love these two segments because as you start building in the profession, you're going to recognize different personality types, and I think the key in our profession, because we're working with people, and when you work with people, you're dealing with different personality types, and you all know what I'm talking about. I guess it doesn't matter whether it's network marketing or traditional business, or whether you're an employee in an environment where you're working with people. And the key is obviously to be patient, and just be understanding and understand where people come from first before you're heard. And I think that's really helped us a lot over the years, Chris, in
I
building
totally
this
agree.
business. Yeah, so you're
I
going to love this video that's coming up.
I totally agree. And before we start doing this, I noticed, Julie, you've asked if this call is recorded. Yes, in fact, it's recorded on the Got Backup YouTube channel, so you'll be able to share it from there. And the nice thing is, you can always, at the moment, you can share the link, and as you share your link, you can put your ID. And if someone wants to enroll after they saw the information, then it'll end up into your arsenal, if you understand me, in your ecosystem, where you'll start receiving an email when you activate, and it'll end up in your team. So yes, absolutely. We want to make that available. So thank you for this comment. And folks, as we're sharing information here today, please do feel free to comment. And I may not see them all at the same time. Sometimes they come very fast, and we need to focus on the slide we want to share with you. But do feel to share your thoughts, your comments, because they do value. There's people that are listening to this training, and we may say something, but your comment may validate or even expand on something that we just share. And our goal here is to really help you have success in your Got Backup business. So let's get started with this quick little video. And I hope the sound will work, because I'm just starting to use StreamYard, and I think the sound's correct. But if the sound is not working, don't worry about it, because there's really no verbal. It's more like a little sound. I want you to focus on the characters and read the comments as the characters appear into the video. Okay, so let's begin.
Chris, the screen is not showing.
My apologies for that.
Start over. They gotta see the beginning.
I am so sorry, everybody. Okay. I realized I didn't share the screen. Like I said, we're new to StreamYard. So let's try this again. Okay. So let's get going. So I think you guys understand what's going on here through the message, right? You will have there will be some people that will come into your business that will have the vision, will see the vision, and will work just like you and even stronger than you, and they may actually achieve better than you. And when that happens, folks, don't get jealous, don't get envious, duck, let them go. Because if they thrive, even if they look better than you will benefit because it is within your organization. You have no idea how many times Sammy and I have seen people sabotaging leaders within their organization that have skills in their pinky finger that most people don't have in their entire body. But because of the sabotaging, because people feel a little bit envious of that, they tend to destroy their organization, starting with a leader that could make a big difference. That's something that's very, very important to keep in mind. The second thing that you'll find is you'll have people like this young gentleman who actually goes right inside. So what is he doing? He's adding weight that needs to be carried. From time to time, it'll push a little bit, easily being distracted, right? And you'll have some people that will, on one side, like the person that's one side of the wheel, when it's on the back, it's creating weight, which everybody has to work harder to move forward. And when he's forward, when he's motivated, then there's momentum and it's back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And there's some that are just out there and they're trying to sabotage the organization. I call them little dragons. Mm-hmm. And as a leader, it's critical that you identify these little dragons, and you never want to call them out in public. That will never serve you well. You want to call them out on a one-on-one, understanding where the problem is and why the behavior is such, and understanding why they do certain things. And from that understanding, you can convert this person that could become your number one team member in your organization. Tammy and I have witnessed that firsthand. So never get offended or mad, but try to understand where people are in their in a moment as to why they're doing what they're doing. And by doing this, it's amazing how much transformation your team will have. Sometimes, folks, there's nothing you can do about it. When that happens, just keep moving forward and don't get distracted by the situation, because it happens. It's just called life. And this is something that we wanted to start with, to give you a context to understand that this is part of life, and there's different type of personalities that you will come across. And the more you can try to adapt to these different type of personalities, the more your business will grow. And you can convert people that have enormous amount of possibilities that maybe started with a bad attitude because of something that happened to them that you may not be aware of. So this is the message here, and trying to create momentum. The key to this video to have success is consistency and congruency. You know, you saw that team that came in with all momentum, with the same clothing and the same momentum. That's what you're looking for. And there's some examples that we can talk about on how we deliver as a company. The more consistent, the more congruent the message is from all teams around the world, the faster you will get into momentum, the faster your income will grow. And folks, there's some really exciting things that's coming with God Backup, with the VIP program. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening, which will give an enormous amount of opportunity to grow your volume with some really useful services. So what's really important, folks, is that we have a good foundation. And that's kind of what that first little video represent, to help you develop that organization of yours.
I love that video, especially when the team just flies by, and it just makes us sit back and recognize how to move forward and grow a business. Because when you're all aligned with a common goal and a common mission, you're literally unstoppable in building this business. And that's the key, is to build really strong culture within the organization, know where you're all going, and support each other along the way, because you're going to have roadblocks, which leads us to the next step is the 4 phases in the network marketing profession. So we all go through it, and we all learn from it. And it's to help the brand new people who come into our profession, help them understand the process, because a lot of people come into our industry and they really don't understand the growing pains of our profession, and the skills they have to develop. And, you know, sometimes they are told how simple it is, and you know, you're going to make a ton of money and all of this stuff, and you have to be careful how you share this information when you bring people into the business, because it requires work like any other business. It requires work, network marketing, not what net wish, not what net hope. It's everybody putting in their time, and those who do it consistently and with commitment and supporting their teams are the ones that are going to thrive in this business. You will see the organizations, because we're new, right? It's growing. So you're going to see the ones that are hitting the ranks are usually part of a team leader who's out there, that are making it happen, that are supporting their teams, that are creating events, and celebrate that. Don't look at other teams and get jealous. Celebrate that and learn what they're doing. Find out what they're doing, you know, and do what they're doing. That's what we've always done. We've always learned from people who were bigger than us. We never look down. We always look up to see people who are bigger. What can we do better? And that's how we've always built in our profession. We've invested thousands and thousands of dollars on courses to improve our skills and our mindset and everything that it takes to become a leader in our profession.
I totally agree, Tammy. And again, folks, when you look at the critical point over here,
Chris, show the slide.
God, I got to go over this. Okay.
There we go. This is what we wanted to share with you.
So what happens here is when you look at the critical point, and that's what the phases Tammy was talking about. When you look at the critical point, Think about where people in your team are dropping off. Why? We understand that some folks may not be very technically oriented. And because of that, they get super confused. If nobody attend to them, then of course they're paying for a service they're not using. They're not going to keep paying for it. And it's a fantastic service. It's amazing. I've used it for everything. You can even have some subdirectories that are secured and you need a password to access. There's so much, there's a lot there. But I understand that most people won't take 2 minutes to look at the videos because they don't want to. So for that reason, the network marketing ecosystem is the perfect environment to actually train people. And we have recordings, over recordings, over recordings, doing trainings and examples and how-tos. So it's important that you share this information with your team members, especially new members. Very important. We are evolving as a community towards technology. But of course, there's also a generation like our generation. We were not born with cell phones and all. We had rotary phones, and some of you know what I'm talking about, right? So the new generation, what's a rotary phone, right? The one that you put your finger and you dial around. So the fact is that we had to adapt to this, okay? And a lot of people are not adapting well. So that's why it's important that when people sign up, you don't just let them to figure this out on their own. Just make sure that they're part of a group that will actually train them. And you'll find that these critical points become a non-issue. And instead of selecting the phase 3 going down, they want to select the phase 3 and going up towards the financial freedom. I assure you, folks, I keep thinking of Dropbox, 700 million users. What's going to happen when got back up as 100,000 users? How is that going to impact your check? Think about it. So for that to happen, we need to get into momentum. And to get into momentum, we need to be in sync. And we need to make sure that people are not left behind. That's really important. And you will find that a lot of you will go into that beautiful phase of momentum. And I'm telling you, when you make great money in network marketing, it is absolutely phenomenal. It's phenomenal. The lifestyle that network marketing brings, folks, I'm telling you, most people have no idea it's possible. I know we didn't start by introducing ourselves, but Tammy and I have been in the industry for over 28 years, as I mentioned earlier, but we've built really in my career 2 companies. The first one was our first love, and the second one we've expanded. And of course, pandemic has caused an enormous amount of resistance. And now God Backup came into our lives. And I've known Joel for many, many, many years. Many years. And I trust Joel. And I like him as a person. So the fact here is I've used his service, in fact, 20 some years ago when we were hosting my very first websites. So the fact here is we've been around for a long time. And the principles that Tammy and I are going to share with you are critical. And if you follow these principles, it will impact your business. I guarantee you. Number 1 is, first of all, start with you asking you this question. Are you interested or committed? Because there is a difference. Oh, I'm interested to make money, or I'm committed to make money. I'm committed to learn a software. I'm committed to build a prosperous organization. And these are the kind of words that you want come out of your mouth in your leadership. And that's important. And again, some folks are interested. Don't beat them up if they're not committed. It's okay. We need a lot of interested people. They're great customers. But the committed ones are the one that's going to go with you. It's like the second person on that video that kind of came up, right? That's a committed associate willing to work with you. So that's something that you need to ask yourself. Are you committed or interested? Because there's a significant difference. So all of you here that are listening in, put in the chat, are you committed or are you interested? Let everybody know. Are you committed or interested? Understanding that the commitment is what you're looking for.
There we go. I'm seeing somebody write your commitments. I love it. I love it. I love it. I like that, Joelle. Committed for life. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's build this huge. This company has potential to be a billion-dollar company, and you all know that. And so we know the future is the cloud service, and I know Joel has so many other incredible services that will be coming on board. So we have a lot of excitement to look forward to. So let's talk about number 2. I think this one is critical. I believe in creating vision boards. I don't know if you're into doing vision boards. If you've created a vision board, put 1 in the chat. If you've already created a vision board and you believe in focusing on your goals and your commitment on getting there, because you're going to have days where people or things are going to get in the way. And this is a perfect example here. Are you allowing fears, guilt, society, negative people to unfocus you and stop you from achieving your goals? Are you allowing that to happen? You're going to have days where people are just going to get to you. And the best thing to do is always stay focused on that goal. It's like racehorses, right? You see those blindfolders on the side. It keeps them focused on their goal, right? To get to the end as quick as possible and not allow all of these distractions to keep them from achieving their goals. You're going to have relatives who are going to ignore you. We've got relatives that ignore us when we go to what do you call them? Family events, reunions. And it's absolutely silly, but we just love everybody where they're at. And we make no judgment to anybody around us that are not open or willing to do this. We're looking for people who want to do this, who would want to commit to living a great lifestyle. Those are the ones that we want to spend our time with, not dragging anybody across the finish line. You're going to have friends that you're actually going to disown because you need to be focused. I've had friends that I love them to death, but I just can't be around them. Every once in a while, we'll go out and connect and have a lunch, but they're not in my social environment. And you're going to have people that are going to make you feel guilty. You know, that's one thing. I shared this when we were in the Philippines. The biggest thing that I ever had, and maybe ladies, you're going to relate to this, is that guilt of spending time with your kids. My kids are all grown up. I got grandkids and all that stuff. But when I first started in the industry, I felt guilty because I had already a full-time career. I was a swimsuit designer. I owned a manufacturing company. I was busy. And then I added a part-time hustle in my first networking business on top of it, so we could have a better lifestyle, so I could do more things with my kids. So what I did is I created vision boards with my children. It was so powerful. I no longer had guilt because I made my children part of the vision, part of the dream. I get goosebumps when I talk about it because I remember times where, like, I would sit down with them and I would say, hey guys, you know, for you to achieve this on your vision board, mommy needs to work extra hard to make this happen. So there was one night I was sitting on the couch watching, I forget what show it was, and my youngest daughter blew me away. She come up to me and she says, Mom, you're not committed to the vision. See, I goosebumps again. And that really made me realize how important it was to focus on my goals and to make it about my family and my dreams as a family. So this might hit home for some of you right now because you might be feeling guilty, not spending enough time with the people that you love, but they need to know that they're part of it.
I totally agree, Tammy. And I want to address the question here from Susan because it's a very common one. And here's a situation when we can relate to you, Susan, and we understand what you're going through. Tammy and I came out clean. And at the end of the day, here's a situation. We build an empire and we're building a second one. I'm not going to destroy my first empire. I'm not going to destroy my building because I want to build another building and take the pieces from that one. I'm not touching that. Now, are there some people that may come across? It's possible, but I'm after new people, new blood. I don't go after the other team. Okay. And the reason why is because God Backup is providing a service kind of like Dropbox. And I assure you that most people that are involved in a network marketing company are using Dropbox. Instead of using Dropbox, I'm using God Backup. So again, it's a way that you can address this without sabotaging, but in the same time, there is an opportunity with God Backup that can create distraction. For sure, no question there. I'm not being an hypocrite about this. But the fact here is that you have to decide. You have to decide. But respect your team. Respect your leadership. And again, I'm not like picking on you, Suzanne, at all. I'm just because it's a very good question that's very, very common. Okay. And many of us are here doing exactly that. And the thing is, be honorable, be respectful. Don't undermine other organization and other people and try to ravage other network marketing teams. That's not what we're all about. You don't have to do that. Only 5% of the population in the world are involved in network marketing. 5. In fact, that's actually being generous. What about the rest of the 95%? So you see, it's how we look at this, right? So, and I don't have all the answers here, folks. I'm just giving you some of our experiences because we can relate to that. Now, number 3, what's really important here is, are you following the system? Because one thing that I found about, training associates is a lot of them are not spending 2 seconds understanding what it is that you do. What presentation are you using? And often you'll have some people that will take the presentation and they will completely transform the presentation in a way that they feel should be communicated. And that's okay. But if you happen to be working with someone who has made millions of dollars in network marketing, for example, that deliver a certain message because of their experience and what they've learned as to providing too much information or not enough information, that sweet spot. And that's what's important you understand. And so when you follow a leader who has success, I really recommend that you duplicate what they do. And then from there, you could turn around and make suggestions. And your suggestion could come in as a perfect timing to modify it for the entire organization to benefit from. And that's how this works. And for this, there's a system. I know that Tammy and I have a board that we made available. And that board has presentations, recorded trainings. It has a copy of our trainings. This training is available. People can download them. We give everything freely because I believe there's good karma in the world when you help people. We're not always looking for money for things. The fact here is if you help your team thrive, if we help the company thrive, guess what? It increases the company's profitability, which, what's the next thing? It increases the value of a cycle. What's the next thing? Well, the more cycles you have, the more money you make. So we all depend on each other. Even though we're not in the same team, we're all part of the same team. So following the system is critical. If you want to get into momentum, like these characters that are running together, all synchronized with the same clothing and everything else, that's because they're following the same new orientation system. And that's what you're trying to do. If you don't have a system, just collaborate with someone who does. And work with the people you work with. And if the leader that you work with does not want to follow the system, well, this is something that you need to negotiate. Because we're talking about your life, your future. And the fact here is everything can actually be resolved if we sit and discuss and communicate. It's all about communication. I think we'll come back to that in a minute. It's all about communication. So following the system is critical. So when you see here this character, okay, we're trying to bring him into that ecosystem that we have. So everybody has an equal knowledge. Where do I find this training to install the software? Where do I find a presentation to present? Where can I go and listen to past recorded trainings? Earlier, there was a question on that. Are you aware of all of these things? So that's why the system is absolutely critical. Tammy and I happen to be working with Eric Worre. Some of you may like him, some of you may not. The point is that we appreciate what he brings in his contribution to the network marketing arena. And the fact is, we've been part of his inner circle for like the past 3 years. We mingle with people that are 7-figure like us in his business, and we exchange ideas. And a lot of the ideas that we implemented in our system comes from what other people have shared that are making 7-figure a year, right? So the fact here, folks, is a system is the basic foundation to get into momentum. That's so critical.
Yeah, and all of you are welcome to grab a hold of the boards. I love the first part. I'm just kind of looking at it right now. It's getting started guide, and it's got a great little from the congratulations to the first step to the second step, the third step, and you're actively working with your partner to engage them. You need to be right away. The moment you sign somebody up, you need to engage them into the steps on what they need to do, because people don't know what to do until you tell them what to do, right? So you gotta walk them through the system. Once they do it themselves, then they can teach it to their people. That's why Chris and I are so strong when it comes to the importance of duplication in systems. That's how you're going to grow a mammoth organization. Number 4, this one is a lot of people have gone through that. I've been through that, going through challenges financially and emotionally and all of this stuff before I started network marketing. Network marketing has been the best vehicle for me to personally grow, and I'm sure all of you who are leaders would say the same thing. Do you have a poverty mindset? Because it's hard to communicate the big picture to people if it's not here that you believe that it's possible for you. Okay, so you got to work on your mindset constantly. If you're in that state, just listening to motivational stuff, paying attention. I always say, when you're in the moment, you have control. And you can change words like this in the moment, and that will change your energy and everything you do moving forward. So pay attention to what you say to yourself, what you say to others. Is it positive? Is it moving you towards your goals and your dreams? Sometimes people have to change everything about what they say. They don't even realize that they're living in that poverty mindset mentality, that it's not possible. And so it's a matter of working on yourself. And like I said, Chris and I have done this stuff for years. Chris comes from a French background, Christian French, and he grew up with that mindset. He would easily share that with you, some of the struggles that he had. And I remember, Chris, when you first started, you used to say, "I have to bleed to succeed." Remember that?
Yeah, I do. You reminded me. I don't want to think of these words.
Yeah. And you don't realize that. And then you're creating the difficulty in the struggle because of, phrases that we're going to say to ourselves. I mean, I've said many things to myself that no longer I will ever say, because you want to say things that are going to serve you, that are going to help you grow into that person that you can be if you focus on being that. I always say, speak in the now as if you already have it. That's so powerful. My vision boards are so powerful. Powerful. I'd love to do a vision board training sometime.
I do agree. And just to add to Tammy's comment earlier, it is true. I remember my father, and again, my father didn't mean, he was trying to protect me, right? Money doesn't grow in trees. And we grew up in that. And maybe some of you can relate to this. Money doesn't grow in trees. And it affected me so bad, where whenever I made money, somehow something would happen to that money and I wouldn't keep it. And I had to do it with my mindset. Right. So something Bruce just mentioned, that's why I brought his comment up, is everything starts in the mind. Right. And Lou, I really appreciate what you're sharing, because I know those of you that are actually paying attention here can really, really benefit from what we're saying here. We're talking from pure experience. And folks, we've made millions of dollars. We're not making that up. We've made millions of dollars in this industry. That's why we've been in it for so long. That's why we have this wonderful lifestyle where we can be in the Philippines for 16 days. And we have this, we're leaving for Florida in Daytona Beach for 5 months out of the year, right? We're living in between Christmas and New Year's. And we've been doing that since 2013. We have a beautiful property in Toronto. I don't know if you're aware what's going on with real estate in Toronto, right? Our property has more than doubled since we bought it. It's over $2 million and we paid it. And again, folks, I'm not trying to brag. I want to impress upon you that all of this came from network marketing, not from a job just over broke. This is what you need to understand. This industry is absolutely fantastic. And your poverty mindset will impact you. Because for me, I had to overcome that. I remember telling Timmy, God, for me to succeed, God, I got to bleed. I used to say that so often. And guess what? I bled. It was tough. It was difficult. But it doesn't have to be. Because you're not born in this beautiful planet to struggle. That's man-made. We're born here to thrive and to live in abundance. But it starts in the mind. And this is some of the very first thing I work with when I train, when we mentor people, is the moment we start speaking and I hear what they say, I ask them permission. Are you okay for me to share a few things and a few thoughts that maybe can help you, help with your mindset? And if people are willing to learn and evolve, they will say yes. And I will be totally honest with them. And that's one of the reasons we've had top income earners in this business personally sponsored by us. It has a lot to do with the mindset. So number 5, we're halfway there, guys, is are you having difficulty prospecting, inviting, following up? Now, understand that we're in 2023 now. There's a leap of difference between 2019, 2020 to 2023 on the way things are done now. So social media is a big part of your environment. Email marketing is a big part of building your business. The co-op program that Joel offers is a big part of building your business. But do you know how to handle those leads? Because some people say, well, I bought these leads and I haven't converted anybody. Well, what did you do? What did you contribute to those leads? Did you just get those leads and expect them to sign up on their own? It's just like prospecting, folks. We know how it is. You meet someone for the very first time. You don't ask them on marriage on the very first date, right? That will scare them away, right? You get to know them. They get to know you. That's the prospecting aspect of things. And then the inviting is there's a chemistry there. There's something happening. I'm using the relationship as an example, but of course it could be business, it could be anything. Then is the invitation for the coffee, right? And then from there, if the person's open, you sit, and then you expand, you go further. And then you leave it there. And then you follow up. Like to meet you again. And then from that point on, some things might develop, some chemistry may develop if in the context of a relationship. And what's happening in the middle? Can anybody type in the chat? What does this word states? What does it say here? Everybody type it. I just want everybody to notice that. What does it say? What does it say? Type it in, folks. Type it in. Type it in. Perfect. Trust. Trust is how this business will work for you. This is how you will convert. So when you get a lead from your co-op lead, there's no trust. You're just some name out of whatever other names that they've received from whatever thousands of other links they clicked on saying, I'm interested. Not committed, interested. It's the trust that will occur from the follow-up process. And these, again, are part of the system. Training people on prospecting and inviting and following up. And there's different form of following up. There's following up as right after the invitation, confirming if they're going to be there. And there's a third-party credibility, which is also another form of following up to validate why what you're saying has value from a third party. These are the recipes that will help you convert. So it's important that you understand, number 5 is, are you having difficulty prospecting, inviting, following up? Are you doing the steps? Are you learning how? If not, well, we're happy to share with you what we do. We're not doing anything specific. It's not team specific. Whatever we do is generic. but you will learn how to prospect, invite, and follow up. That's how you will start converting. That's how your business will grow.
So when you look at your list, I just want to add to that, Chris, because
For sure.
it's all about follow up, follow up, follow up. Don't think you're going to build a business with one follow up. It doesn't work that way. I mean, I've spent years following up with people, and some took so long, and they end up being my superstars. It's just the timing wasn't right for them, and it's got to be their timing, not yours, right? So you want to share the big picture, of course, but it's got to be their timing if they're going to run with this. And trust. I mean, people might know you, they might like you, but if they trust you, then often they'll want to do business with you. So really, really focus on the trust aspect and always make it about them. You got to always make it about them. Okay. If you can help somebody change their life, forever, you're going to have that trust. And number 6, are you a good commercial? Are you a good advertisement? It's amazing how people think 4 years is a long time to succeed in a business, but think it's all right to stay broke at a job for 40 years. Isn't that so accurate? I mean, we watched our parents, you know, with the jobs and growing up in the job world, and both Chris and I, we had jobs, and then I went into business. Chris went into business before we got involved in the network marketing profession. And but this profession literally freed us. It freed us in so many ways. But at the beginning, you got to work hard. You got to stay focused. You got to be committed. You got to be there for your teams. You got to build the foundation. You got to have the system in place. It's got to be duplicating. And that's how this business grows. Yes, it's hard at the beginning. Stop crying. It's going to be hard. But it'll be worth it. I'm telling you, it is so worth it.
I totally agree, folks. And again, you need to understand that people are so used to quick results because you go to a job and you get paid within your first 2 weeks, or usually it's within first 2 weeks or within your first month, whatever the situation is with your deal. But in network marketing, folks, is you're going to be working at the beginning, and the money you're going to earn will not justify the amount of time that you've put in. And we understand that. But the difference is network marketing will compound. Your job will not. Your job is a new day every day that you need to start from scratch. And the moment they're done with you, it's over. Then you got to start again from zero every day. But network marketing, you're compounding. It's like interests. So at the beginning, you work, and you got a tiny little bitty check. And eventually, what's happening is your team is starting to grow, conversion happens, people are signing up, and you work, up. Suddenly there's 3 digits in your check. Ooh, that's okay, cool. And then you work. Oh, but I have a comma on my check. Ooh, that's nice. And suddenly work. Oh my God. 5 digits. Folks, this is going to happen. Remember, the company is not a year old yet. I'm talking to God Backup Division. So keep in mind, give it time. Don't be too impatient. Understand the big picture. I keep going back to Dropbox. The first 3 years, folks, they were not all that successful. But eventually, they hit momentum and exploded. I assure you, a company that provides a service with 6 terabytes instead of 2, and they pay you for it, give it time. You'll see. So it's important that people see the big picture, see the vision with that statement over here, because people will accept that without question. But that has to do with lack of belief. Number 7, we're almost there, guys. Number 7 is, are you having difficulty organizing and setting time aside? How are you managing your time? This is probably one of the biggest problems that I see in our communities. And I'm so grateful. We have people from Ghana, we have people from South Africa, we have people from Nigeria, we have people from Malaysia, all across Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand. And folks, if I'm forgetting some of you, I do apologize for that. I know that we're a global company in over 120 countries around the world. Folks, this is amazing. And what time you find, doesn't matter if we're in the Philippines or in Toronto or in the United States, somewhere in Florida or California, whatever we are, wherever we are, the same problem, time management. Choose where you focus your time. And for that, you need to do an inventory. What matters to you? Tammy talked about the dream board. That should be the beginning. If there's something we suggest for you to look into, is start looking into what matters to you. What is important to you? And then break it down to what your goals are going to be to achieve what matters to you. And then break it down to the tasks and the activities that you need to do. That's how this works. And from there, you focus your time where it matters. And then you can turn around and time you say, you may have to make some decisions on things that you're doing that are not in line with your goals at all, but you're doing it out of habit. But it's not moving you forward in any way, shape, or form, not even an inch. So do an inventory of what you do on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis. Where do you focus most of your time? And is this in line with what you choose, what you want in life? Understand that family time is important, folks. It's not just about business. So you have to look at what you have and do an inventory and start scheduling your life. Some of the most successful people have a very structured way. And if they're not good, they hire someone that will keep them accountable to that calendar. I'm telling you, this is really important. Tammy and I are very, very structured where we choose to spend time and where our time is spent and how much time we spend doing that. So do yourself a favor, folks. Start doing an inventory of what you do daily and start figuring out, is this in line with my goals? Because you need time to do the things that matters to you. So that's really important. Number 7 is, are you having difficulty organizing and setting time aside? For that, you may have to start figuring things out. One thing that I use is I use iCal. Some of you may use Outlook, whatever system you use, and make sure synchronize it. I mean, I know not everybody's techie here, but my point here is when you have things on a booklet like this, right? And you write things down, that's wonderful. I know you can't write, you can't see what's going on here, but see, that is heavy to carry, right? But there's one thing that I carry with me everywhere I go is this thing. It's my wallet. It's my accountant. It's my schedule. It's everything. Just to give you an idea, from my accounting, I don't even keep track of papers anymore. Let me rephrase that. Whenever we buy something, I take a picture of it with a software that's called Dext, and it goes right to my accountant. And my accountant takes this, extract the HST. We're in Ontario, that's a tax stat. And because I get paid by an American institution, I'm entitled to all HST tax credit in Canada. Why? Because I'm contributing to my economy by getting paid by an American company. Do you understand? For Canadians? So again, I'm just giving you an example of being organized. Every single penny that comes in, we know exactly where it goes and how to handle it. So organization is critical. People make money, but sometimes the money goes faster than you can, they know where the money goes. This is important. You need to have a good system to organize yourself to make sure that whenever you do something, that whatever you do is compounding towards your goal and where you want to achieve. We can do a whole training just on that topic, but I just wanted to address this because this is so important. Back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, the key is to get organized for sure. And are you making your daily business schedule priority? That's key. It's got to be a priority, you guys. When you do work your schedule, which we highly recommend, if it's something you've never done before, it's going to take a while to adjust. Don't beat yourself up along the way. Often we put stuff on our schedule and it's too much. right? So you need to evaluate all of this so you're not in overwhelm mode, but you get the money making activities. We're always talking about that. Anybody who works with us, no, we talk about money making activities, because those money making activities are what's going to change your lifestyle. So you need to focus on the things that are going to get you there. And what is that? Prospecting, inviting, following up, signing people up, get them started right. Prospecting, inviting, following up, signing them up, getting them started right. And if you're working lead system, you're working the system and connecting and going through the same process with them. Okay, so when you're doing this, this is on your schedule every single day, then you'll see. The more organized you are, the more relaxed you are, no stress in your life, and you'll realize that you'll have more time to do those things that you love.
I totally agree, Tammy. And I'm just kind of, as I'm going through some of your comments, I'm displaying them in a context. And thank you for participating, guys, because it's really, really, really helpful. Really appreciate you. So the fact is, make sure that you have a priority towards your goals. If your goal is to build God back up, well, set some time aside for that, folks. Set some time aside for that. Now, number 9, again, this is, we can't spend too much time on that because we want to respect the hour. We have 8 minutes left here. But do you have belief in these 4 categories? I call it the 4 core belief. Number 1 is belief in yourself that you can actually achieve. It goes back with the mindset we talked about earlier. Unfortunately, humans we're not AI, we're not robots, right? We have emotions, and these emotions will dictate often our behaviors. And for that, our behaviors are not going to change because we decide to change. It's a feeling that needs to be adjusted, adapt, just like training. You're not going to look like Joel Therrien because you decide you went to the gym one time, right? Joel has been doing this for years and years and years and years and years, and he's been maintaining all this life. And now it is early 50s, and he looks like better than most 20-year-olds. Okay. Sorry, Joel, I'm picking at you here. But the fact here is it goes back with, again, the belief in yourself and the commitment you do to yourself to evolve and to learn. So if your lack of belief is maybe not strong in the understanding that you can actually make money in this industry, you need to learn. You need to evolve. Because every time you achieve success in our business, you know what happens? You make a human credibility deposit. Every time you sign someone up, you just made another tiny little deposit. And suddenly you got to check with a comma. Whoop, the deposit is increasing because your belief is increasing that, hey, wow, I'm capable. This can happen for me. And that takes time. Number 2 is the belief in the company. Do you see the potential? Or do you get distracted by the white noise, as it was mentioned earlier, right? The little things that happens. You know, whatever problems you come across, it can be fixed. You'd have to be stuck on that and, I take a tantrum and say, oh, I'm doing something else. I'm done with that. Understand, it's a process. And what I love about God Backup and Joel is, and Eve and Mike, they're constantly working on evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving. And I'm telling you, folks, when you have founders like this that are constantly adjusting and fixing and adapting, eventually you're going to have that sweet spot where you have it just right. And we're not far. And when that happens, folks, you want to have your team in place. Because when that happens, you get into momentum, your volume could grow very, very fast. What's your belief in the company? What about your product? What's your belief in the God Backup service? It's a fantastic service. There's constant things that Joel works on to fix whatever challenges. I have a bit of a coughing here. Just give me 1 second here. So what's important here is that what's your belief in the product? Because if your belief is not strong in the product, unfortunately, it's going to impact your influence when you're talking to someone about it. And number 1 and number 4, the two biggest one is the industry. What you believe in the MLM industry, the network marketing industry. Because for Tammy and I, it has set us free. We have made millions of dollars. And I know I keep repeating this, but I want to impress upon you that this industry is an incredible industry for us to liberate ourselves from the environment that we're being exposed to from birth. The job environment, it's a joke. Now, I'm not putting down the job, because I want my son to work at a job to evolve and learn, but I would love my son to create something and to have his own company, as my daughter's doing. She has her own company. So the fact is, it starts with you, and what happens to you will impact your children, not just your children, but your ecosystem, people around you. Your 4 core beliefs are critical. So if you're not happy with your current situation, you have to start working on yourself. Because if you work on yourself, I'm telling you, your profit will increase. Or I should say, the results towards what matters to you will increase. Tammy, is there anything else you want to add before we get to the next slide?
No, I think you nailed it. It's like a table, right? If you got one leg that's not strong, your table's going to fall over, right? It's going to be wobbly. So spend some time working on this so that you go out there so powerfully. People love to be around people who know where they're going. It's that simple. When you have confidence in everything, your ability, the company, the service, it's phenomenal. I mean, I didn't know any of this stuff when I first got started. I just learn a little bit every day. And people are like, oh, you're so good. I just learn a little bit every day, you guys. I go through the website and I just click on things and just learn some things, right? So these are things that you need to do. And Joel, you're going to be proud of me. I sent out through the co-op and my pre-enrollers this session today. I learned how to do it. So I'm proud of myself. I never did this before. So kudos, you just got to keep trying new things and learning and evolving. And number 10 is such a big one. Are your dreams and goals bigger than your excuses? You got to be focusing on your dreams and goals. That's it. Remember, every time those excuses come up, put those blindfolders on and go towards everything that you desire. If there's difficulties or issues going on, fix it and move forward. Okay, these are all the things that Chris and I had to do to live this life. You see that beach? That's the lifestyle we created.
That's your backyard.
Yeah, that's a lifestyle that we created. We decided that by the time I turned 50, that we were no longer doing snow. I don't do snow. So this is what we decided, the lifestyle that we wanted. You might have something different, something, that you're really, really, really passionate about. And that happened to be ours. That was our driving force. Today, I mean, we've been living it for 10 years. So we don't get really excited about it. I guess we're so comfortable and used to it. But today, our drive is about creating generational wealth. We want to make sure that our investments are going to carry on through our family through generations. This is so important because the kids today are struggling. You probably know that. You may have teenage kids that are going through a lot of emotional stuff. And to be able to build that legacy, to have that available. Don't tell them because they'll be dependent on it. But know when you're out there doing this, you're doing it for the betterment of generational wealth or whatever it is that you decide to create in your life.
Absolutely. So, folks, in closing here, Tammy and I love this industry, and we really, really, really love people more than we can express it. That's why we've been so adamant in training people in this industry for so many years. And we want you to succeed. It feels so good to us when we see you achieve new pin levels. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter what team you're part of. Because whenever people grow, I know that the entire company grows. And when the entire company grows, everybody benefits. We want you to succeed. But that's not enough.
Yeah.
You have to want it for yourself. You need to take the steps. You need to move forward. You need to make that decision. And once you do, your voice could be so impactful and you just have no idea. It's never been out. Let your voice out. Let people know. This is the kind of industry that we have seen in many countries around the world. I mean, I remember when we first went to Ghana back in 2013, we've seen doctors that were in a poverty level that became millionaires, that were able to buy properties, investments, traveling around the world. Dr. Keawe is one of those people. So, folks, at the end of the day, you all have the same opportunity. Don't think that someone else has more than you. That's a mindset. You choose, you make the decision, and you go and grab it. So that's a training that we want to share with you here today. It's 11:01. Tammy, is there anything else you want to end with?
Just go out and do whatever it takes to live your dreams. Just focus. Don't let the excuses get in the way. When they come up, shut them up and get to work. And that's all we've ever done to move forward. You know, we call ourselves the little shots that keep shooting. We keep shooting. We never give up. We have a bad day. We may take a little break and we're back into it again.
So everybody, again, have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend. Joel, Mike, and Eve, thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to have this platform to be able to share with all of you. And I hope that this information was helpful. Again, this call is recorded. You can pass it on to your downline and take advantage of this kind of info because it will set you free. So have yourself a great rest of your weekend, folks, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.